Here's the BC-250. So the first thing you can see is I've torn the top part of the heatsink off, which there's videos out there to show you how to do that. Just use the scissors and it just kind of peels off. The other big thing is having this this bracket mounted to the back. So I think the one I got must have been warped or something, but there wasn't contact between this this back plate and the back of the CPU. So the bracket just puts a little bit of pressure on it. It's just like 0.2 mil, but it pushes the back of the back plate up, so it makes contact. And then this is a 3D printed bracket, which I put the two 120 mil fans in. There's only a header for one of those fans, so the Arctic fan that I've got has got a you can chain them together, so you only actually need one of the headers, and it kind of slides over. And then that's what it looks like with the bracket. So if you look through the fan, you can see that's the reason why I had to pull the top off the heatsink, so that the air pushes downwards. That's an important point. When I first put this together, one of the fans was pointing down and one was up, so you want them both pointing down. So it's booting up now. There's two different makes of fans there, so you can see they're going at slightly different speeds. So it's worth going into the BIOS and updating the fan curves. So it's loud as hell by default, so you definitely want to get that sorted. So to power the 250, I've got a flex PSU where you've got to bridge a couple of the pins to permanently be on. And I have picked up a 16mm power button, which is latched. So the idea is that that's going to replace this direct connection there. So when you shut down the BC-250, the fans here will stop spinning, but the fans in the PSU itself will keep going, and that's why you need the power switch. So this is the shorted ATX 24-pin adapter. So I'm just going to cut that loop and attach it to my 16mm power switch. So for me, it is the yellow and green wires. Two of the other ones are for an LED that I'm not going to use, and the other one's unused. So it's only the yellow and green that need to replace that loop. There it is. Not the most elegant join I've ever done, but good enough. So now I'm going to attach that onto the button that I screwed in there. Okay, we're getting there. So you would have noticed the Flex PSU was already installed. This is a faceplate which you screw into the PSU itself, and then the whole thing slides in. The two halves of the case come together. There's a seam all the way down, which you just squeeze together. And then these are fittings to hold them together. There's just a screw either side. And the same will be true for the front and back cover. So let's keep going. The edge of the case just fits on. There's no screws there. Just get your alignment right of the button. Okay, that's more or less finished. Some of the screws are missing. The Etsy place I bought this from didn't ship with enough. So they're M3 screws, 10mm. So let's give this a go. Doing something. No image on the screen. There we go. I've already installed the operating system. So I suggest using Claude. That did most of the setup for me, unlocked the 40 compute units. I was going to do an overclock, but they generally recommend that you either unlock the extra cores or do the overclock, but not both. Otherwise you end up with too much heat. But that's it. That's the build.